Mindset Mashup podcast, here we are. And this could be the final one of the year. It might not be. I don't know what episode this is. But listen, today I'm spending 5 minutes with another legend, another UK inspirational person, TV producer, journalist, positive thinker. And this year, 20 years of dreaming, 20 years of work came to fruition. And I want to really discover a little bit more today. Brenda Dennehy, welcome to the podcast and thanks for coming.
Hey, hi George, how are you? Thanks so much for asking me on.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. I'm super blessed. I'm in the Christmas spirit, so now everything's good. Are you good?
Great. Yeah, it's a Monday. Like I love a Monday. You know why so many people hate Mondays? I love a Monday. It's a fresh start of the week, buzzing on a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you start it well, then you set yourself up well for the rest of the week, So, Sunday's my day. That's like sauna steam room. Monday, back on the running, and that's me. But look, Brenda, I'm so grateful you're here, and today I get to spend 5 minutes with you. And this platform's all about mindset. It's all about sort of helping people get to the best version of themselves, helping people hit and achieve their goals. Just helping someone get out of a ruck. So, I've got a few questions for you today, and I'm hoping that the message goes far, So, look, the first one is recently seen on your Instagram that 20 years ago you had a dream about being a journalist, which you are, and you wanted to work with some big companies, BBC, Sky, and these are now here and these are now real. So, how has your mindset helped you achieve hitting these goals?
Yeah, I suppose you look back and you're like, oh, that's a dream. It's a dream that you'd nearly dream. Oh, I dream about working in the likes of Sky News. I was only I remember it was around the time of 9/11. I remember sitting in the kitchen in a small village called Ballydesmond in County Cork in Ireland, and I got hooked on the news. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I got hooked. And I remember sitting there one morning and the war in Afghanistan was going on. I remember saying, I'm going to work there. I'll never forget it, sitting down in a certain chair in the kitchen. And I was like, I don't care what it takes. I don't care about the how it's going to happen. You never have to worry about the how. Once you know you want it, that's all that matters. And I set my sights on it, obviously studying journalism, getting the radio experience in Ireland. But it seems a big task. It's different, when you're in England, you're way more options, but Ireland is so small, and when a small country, it's a small mindset. And if you're going to be coming on saying this big statement, do I want to work in Sky News? People look at you and go, oh, right, okay, yeah. But in my heart and soul, I knew I did. So obviously I have a very positive mindset now, but that wasn't always there, George. I used to wake up, I was more of a glass half full person, glass half empty person, we'll say a couple of years ago. But I think with the last 6 or 7 years, the glass half full me, I turned myself inside out with my ambitions and my dreams. And I think I would be looking at other journalists and I'm saying, well, if it can be her, why couldn't it be me? Why can't that be me? Why can't I be the next Kay Burley? If she's sitting there over in London in Sky News presenting a breakfast show, then that could be me too. So kind of I think at the time as well, you have to think about, there's a lot of angles you do, how nobody knows me in London. I don't have any contacts in London. I'm only working for a small little radio station in Ireland. None of these people know me. How am I going to get noticed? But I never forget one day, actually, a couple of years ago, and this man changed my life. He worked for the BBC. His name was Eric Dixon. And he was doing a radio course that I attended. And I was really trying to get into radio at the time. And I knew I had it. And I went up to him and I said, listen, I just don't get it. I keep getting no's, but I know I have it. And he said, don't worry. He said, every time you get a no, you're closer to the yes. And I kind of said, oh, but how do you mean? He goes, no. Every time you get a no, you're closer to that big yes. He said, so be delighted when you get a no. From then on, whenever I was getting a no, I was like, oh my God, I'm closer to my yes. And soon the yes came, and yes after yes. And obviously there's a few no's along the way.
Yeah, of course.
And then I think it was last June, a year ago, I was at home and I was like, you know what, this London dream of mine, I thought it was too late. For some reason, I was like, you know what, that dream is gone, but something inspired me. I gave myself 6 months. I moved home to save money. I was commuting up and down to work. I moved back to my parents, I sacrificed so much and I was like, I'm going to make it to London. I'm going to bag myself a big job somewhere, someone who'll take me on. Someone has to give me a yes. And I just said to myself, as well. For me, I always say it only takes one person to change your life.
Yeah.
And I had one person change my life in the Mail Online. I got work with the Mail Online, huge, massive organization. And then soon after, I kept at the whole Sky News thing. I got a few no's, but then I found the right person and I sent an email just being really myself. And I got an email back a couple of weeks later inviting me to Sky News at the same time. And okay, Sarah,
The
that's
rest is
it.
history.
That's the rest of history. But I just, you know what? I think what the guy in the BBC said to me, you know, every time you get a no, you're closer to the yes, because so many people throw in the towel at a no. You know, they take one no and they're like, I'm not good enough. You're like, no, of course you can't stop just because of one no. You
Yeah.
can't. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't want to succeed. And it is heartbreaking getting the no. I got to know about something there not so long ago. And okay, I was upset. But I'm after getting that now a month later for something that's happening in the new year. So
100%. And I think
yeah,
I think you said the right thing there. People hear a no and then they quit. And you're never
that's
going
it.
to hear a yes if you quit. And
Never.
it only takes one yes to change
Yeah,
everything. And
one
I,
person.
what I'm hearing from you, Brenda, is a lot of like an undeniable sense of self-belief that, do you know what? Look, I know I've got this. I know that I'm
Yeah,
going to do it. Uh, but that wasn't always there. You cultivated that. You said that
yeah,
that the glass was sometimes half empty, and you managed to swing that around. But your undeniable self-belief that you knew you were going to be in a certain position, mixed with a really amazing amount of resilience. That, do you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get there. And you were willing to sacrifice things such as moving back to your parents' house, start like almost resetting, like taking a step back to take 10 steps forward. I'm hearing a lot of that as well, which is super
yeah.
cool. And look, the next question is what's been either this year, this month, over the last couple of years, what would you say has been your biggest challenge, which you've learned sort of a life-changing lesson from?
I think, as I mentioned, a lot has been sacrifice. And like there was days where, you know, with work, I would have worked 7 days straight. And, you know, well and good, you're making the money and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, you're trying to get more experience in something. And I think probably all the sacrifices I was making when I came over first, you know, I probably overworked myself. You know, I wasn't enjoying the kind of leisure part of my life. You know, I was there working till, I don't know, 2 a.m. at night, and then all my friends might have been out on a Saturday night. But I kept saying to myself, you know what, just stick in there, getting the experience, do the work you don't want to do now for the work that you want to do in the future. I
Nice.
kept saying that to myself. And sure as hell, it's after paying off. Like when I first came to London, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, it'll be so difficult, you'll be so lonely, you're all on your own, you know nobody. Thankfully, I have none of that has happened. You know, I came with a mission. You know, it wasn't just like I'm coming over now and I'm doing some 9 to 5 job, you know, taking my every weekend off. It was like yes to all the odd working hours just to get noticed, you know. Yes to like covering people's sick days just to get in there, you know, just for to be able to be seen, you know, because I was so new. And, you know, I was starting from scratch from television. I'd never worked in television. And I think my biggest thing was I came from a radio background with the dream of always to work in TV. TV and radio production are two completely different things.
Yeah,
So
of
it was
course.
like I almost had to learn a new language with the television. And it's just completely different. And I understand why someone, you know, in the industry wouldn't take someone on so easily when it comes to radio to bring them into TV, because they're totally different. So learning all those new skills, that was that did kind of hinder me a small bit. I remember walking in to Sky some days, as amazing as it is, full of anxiety. Am I going to be able to
Yeah.
get through today? Am I going to be able to deliver, you know? Because you're in Sky News, you're thrown in at the deep end. Like, there's no go, oh, are you okay, Brenda? Do you want help with this? It's like, if you don't know how to do it, then figure out how to do it. Go find someone, find an ally. So that was it. That was my biggest thing, learning how to do television and under so much pressure. But a lot of anxiety came with it, but getting the hang of it. And I stuck in there even at the hardest days.
What if there was one, if you were to boil it down, I know this is really hard to boil it down to what was the one thing that kept you going?
Always thinking of the bigger picture.
So like a purpose and
Always.
direction, like
Always,
just
yeah,
knowing that there.
always. You know, I'd be like, this will pay off. This will pay off. And I'm big into writing down my affirmations every morning, every night. And, you know, when I write, like, I'm a big believer in when you write it down, like, it's seeing is believing, the power of the pen. anytime I'd write down what I really, really want, the big, massive goal, I was like, this will pay off. You're doing this work now for what you want in the future. And that is happening. There's something really amazing that I have always wanted. There's something I've wanted with the last 5 years I've been working on, and an opportunity has arisen in January. So I look at all that hard work. I think it's as well, I don't know about you, but I think the universe is like watching, and it's like, okay, we see all the hard work she's doing here now, right? We're gonna, reward her with what she really wants. I don't get rewarded easily. I don't know about you. Good things happen to me, but really bad things happen to me as well. But I don't get rewarded easily. I really have to work my socks off for anything I want. I may make it look easy at times on Instagram, but like it's not. So then I think I would prefer it that way, the hard way as well, because I appreciate it more. I never take it for granted. I've my own journal every night, and I write down what I'm grateful for. I just write down that I was grateful for a good day at work, and I learn skills. So yeah, the gratitude is massive as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think you got both as well. I heard I saw a quote the other day on Instagram, and it was something like, I actually put I don't know what I said. I put the quote up on Instagram, and but I took it from somewhere, and it was, gratitude makes you fall in life with gratitude makes you fall in love with the life that you have. Yeah. Attitude gets you the life that you want. And I feel like as I'm speaking to you, you've got the both. Like your gratitude, you're grateful for what you got, but you got the attitude, you got the focus of, do you know what, this is what I'm going after, and I want to go out and get it. And I really admire that. And look, Brenda, the last question is, you're now part of the 5-minute episodes, and I'm really glad to have you. Hope you watch a couple more, maybe go back and hopefully watch it in the future. But
sure,
if you were to watch this again, who would you really like to see me interview for 5 minutes?
Okay, he is a big name, right? But that won't stop you, okay? Because we won't know. If you really want something, you'll get it. Love to see you interview Steven Bartlett.
Steven Bartlett, cool. Yes. Yeah,
because we see Steven interviewing everyone. He's a master at it, okay? Turn the tables. Want you interviewing Steven.
Oh, I reckon he can give me at least 5 minutes of his time as well, right?
I think he's so sound. I think he will too. He was like you. You know what I mean? He was like you starting out years ago. And look, you're flourishing just like him now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, God willing.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, perfect. Well, look, Brenda, thanks for your time. For those that are still watching, God bless you.